I think I said in the video about how the thought of taking this truck, putting it back on the road this spring, and having the motor go gives me heart palpitations. Well, what do you think happened? Abso-frickin-lutely. She had to blow, right? Exact same thing. So, pull the oil pan. That's weird. My light, it doesn't flicker on me, but it's flickering in the camera. But, so there's 5, 6. These pistons, clean, bright. I can feel the skirt of 6, and there's no scratches. I can see my reflection in the liner of 5, and I can see a little wearing in the anodized surface, but nothing I can feel. 4, I can run my fingers around the inside of 4. I see nothing. But take a look at the backside of 4, and then take a look at the backside of 3. Do you notice a difference? So, pardon my friends, but 3 shit the bricks. What I don't have this time is a huge amount of antifreeze in the block, or in the oil pan. I expected when I came out in the morning after parking it that I would be full, right? Because that's the way the other 2 went. And this morning when I pulled it, it was up some. It had, from when I had checked the oil before driving it to when I checked the oil this morning after it blew up and sat all night, it came up half an inch. But I'll be danged if I didn't see anything. Nothing whatsoever in the oil pan. 1 and 2 both appear nice and fresh. Somebody's been in it, right? It's been rebuilt. All the rods are the same color. Now, I know that might sound strange, but the rods in the motor we're rebuilding are 2 different colors. Everything looks frickin' brand new in here. I have no idea. They are bolts, not nuts. So, according to my research, that means that these should also be big cam rods. I got no idea why that doesn't match the serial numbers. It's going to tip some of you guys over, but our plan right now is to pull the very best pistons, wrist pins, liners, rings out of the rebuilt motor. I set aside the best of everything for an emergency, and I'm very, very seriously considering honing that liner, putting used rings and everything, and putting it in this truck. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it to our shop in Kalispell. That's 80 miles away. So I'm looking at a $1,200 to $1,500 towing bill, because I'm going to have to bring a heavy truck 80 miles from Kalispell, tow it, so 160 miles round trip for them, or God help me, I got to bring a heavy wrecker out of Missoula, so that would be 80 miles here, 80 miles to Kalispell, and 90 miles back to Missoula. So either way, I'm looking at a bunch of money. So Dad's boxing up the stuff. We pulled this apart, right? We know the bad boy, and Friday we're gonna pull head number 2 and yank that thing out. If when we get it out there are no pits in the liners, I'd have no idea why she went if there's no pits in the liners, but if there are no pits in the liners, then it's relatively likely that we're just going to slap this thing in, and I'm not going to worry about it. If there are pits in the liners, then I'm just going to slap it in anyways and see if we can limp it to Kalispell. In our dealings with this and talking with myriads and myriads of people, there's just been one guy One guy in a heavy diesel repair shop in Kalispell who has never been wrong. 3 motors, and he has called it every single time, including down to the locations of the pistons that have gone. And his opinion is, because he does the logging truck trade and the chip truck trade. It's like, replace the one and drive it. So we might end up taking his advice. But yeah, if I can. Oh. Actually, I won't be using used rings. If I pull this and there's no pitting in the liners, I'm bringing a new set of rings for my rebuild kit and a used set of rings for my rebuild kit. If I pull it and there's no pitting in the liners, then we are going to hone the used liner, put new O-rings in it, drop it in this hole, and go back to work. If I pull the liner and it's pitted, then I'm going to swap in that used liner piston set, and I'm going to use the used rings, because at that point I'm only trying to save $1,500 in my drive to Kalispell. So there's where we stand. I'll let you know either way. I'm sure there'll be all sorts of people tweaking at the idea of slapping it together with used parts, but I don't know about you guys, but it takes me a long time to make $1,500. So if I'm going to dedicate 2 days of after work labor, and my father's willing to come down and help me out and play with his grandson, by God, I'm going to save me $1,500 and run this thing. I am so sick and tired of these motors. Everybody says they're so strong. I can't keep any of these princesses on the road. I have no idea what's going on. Is it the motors? Is it the military? Is it the sitting? Is it me? Is it the way I'm driving them? Is it the fuel? Is it the oil? I have no idea what's going on. That's where we sit.